Hi, Kevin here again. This is part two of the instructions on how to assemble the wood hopper car from Shapeways in HOn3. So your first step might be to very gently wash this in some soapy water like you would just any plastic model. There may be some residues left from the printing process that might not take paint very well. So first thing might be just very gently, and be careful, there are some details that jut out, so don't break those off. So just some dishwashing detergent, warm water, let it dry. Don't scrub it too hard. You might want to use like a toothbrush or something, an old toothbrush, but it's probably not necessary to scrub it that hard. This one actually came out really clean, so hopefully yours will too. The next step is basically we're going to make the rods that tie one side to the other. So the first thing you need to do is you need to cut 6 lengths that are about 1 1/32 of an inch long. So you can use a scale ruler, but I don't know if you can see there. I'm using a tablet for a camera here. That's basically all I got. I got it kind of rigged up so the camera aims down at the desk. So I'm just cutting using the flush cutting pliers. 6 pieces, all of the same length. That's 4. So I've gone ahead and taken those 6 wires that I cut, and I inserted them into the to the holes. The holes. So there's holes. There's 3 sets of holes on both sides of the car. So I stuck them through the holes. Didn't have to do any additional drilling or anything like that. Then I just put a little drop of super glue at each place where the wire meets the frame of the car. And then I went and I trimmed the ends. They were a little long, so I trimmed the ends. You want them to stick out just a little bit because you know, it's supposed to be a threaded rod with a nut on the end. The prototype is that's what it is. So it's supposed to stick out a little bit, so it's supposed to look like a bolt sticking out on the end. So I trimmed them a little bit proud of the car side. And so I did 3 on one side, 3 on the other. Then there's like one other area, one other rod that's supposed to go across, and that's like in the center of the car. So you can see where it's going through. It's like right at the top of this kind of discoloration stripe, this printing artifact. So again, there's holes already printed in there. It goes all the way through. So what I want to do is I'm going to take put a drop of super glue, put it on there, and see if I can push it through before the glue dries. And the tweezers. There we are. Again, this one should be a little bit proud of the car side because it's supposed to resemble a bolt or a tie rod and a threaded end of it. So I left this one long, and now I'm just going to cut it off. It's actually easier to stick through the holes when it's long. So now we've got, as you can see, the rod going straight across the center at the top of the car. You've got 3 on either end, and then there's going to be 2 that go across like this on the bottom, and my wire is a little bit curved, so I'm going to have to straighten that out. And these should be a little bit long. These ones are actually part of the chain winding mechanism. So there's no holes. There's a little ridge. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. I'll try to see how there's like a little bump. So they would go along the side of this bump, just glued on there. These should be about an inch long. I might have to go ahead and cut these beforehand, just because, and try and get them as straight as possible. Might be a good place to use a steel music wire because it is more rigid. But I just want to cut this and show you where it goes. So it goes like this. You can see, I mean, it's kind of bent, and you want it to stick out just a little bit, because what it's supposed to do is the chain kind of supposed to hook on the end of that. So let me get a little pointer. So the chain kind of hooks there. It's supposed to hook there and then go up and around this winding mechanism. So you need it to stick out just a little bit. Again, because my wire is a little bit bent, I'm going to straighten it out a little bit, and I'm going to glue them on, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and I have now glued. You can see them on there. These are the rods that sort of hold the hopper car door. They glued to the bottom of the hopper car door, and I don't even know how easily this is going to go on, but the idea here is get the tweezers to work. So the chain kind of would hook on the end of hook on the end of this wire. You might have to, depending on the size of your chain, I might have to get out magnification. But hopefully you can slip it over the edge of that wire, and then the chain would kind of go up around this winding mechanism. So you would connect a chain, one on each wire, and then kind of go up around this mechanism. Looks like this might not be too easy, so you might just have to glue the chain to the edge of that wire that sticks out, then up and around the mechanism. Again, a black, or it doesn't even have to be black because you're going to paint the car, but a piece of thread would probably work pretty well here. Actually, might be easier, but chain kind of looks cool even though it's oversized. So you would sort of wrap it around, and then on the other ones I just kind of wrapped it around like this. I cut it off, so I glued it in there and I cut it off, and then I kind of like glued the other piece of chain in there to make it look like two chains going around. So I will do that, and then actually maybe I will wait and save that step. But so basically, once you get the tie rods in, it adds a little bit of rigidity to the car. Actually, I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and stick a couple of these weights in. These I think are 1/4 ounce weights. So what I'm gonna do, this is what I did on the other one. I just stuck weights to the slope sheet. So on the other cars, I tried to tuck some weight in, you know, but they were built multiple pieces, so I tried to shove weights in this area down in here, and just hide them, and they still were too light. So after a while, I just said, you know what, I don't care, and I just added some lead weights to the inside. These aren't lead. I'm guessing that lead is getting harder to find. So these still 1/4 of an ounce, but they're bigger than lead ones that are 1/4 of an ounce. I think there is a hobby manufacturer that still distributes lead ones. Actually, I do have some, but they're more expensive. So there's 1/2 an ounce for the car. It's probably heavy enough. I think that's about as heavy as the last ones I made. But anyway, I think I'm going to put a coal or coke load in this car anyway. So I figure I'd just stick them in there now, because before I get too many things on to break off with my fingers, and trying to shove the weights in there is a little tricky. But anyway, next I think I will tap the holes for the couplers, drill and tap the holes for the couplers, and tap the holes for the trucks, and mount the trucks and couplers, and then after that probably put the stirrup steps on, and there's 2 little grab irons that kind of go on the ends of the car. I put those on. There's 2 little grab irons that you can put on according to the drawing and model order. Has grab irons across here on the end sill, and then brake staff, and then a few more things, and it'll be ready for some paint actually. So it's going together pretty quickly.